things I failed to mention is I took and laid this out flat with my angle finder and more or less used the digital angle finder to find this to make this flat. So that's how this is set up. I'm just going to kind of drill it and tap it. So we'll see how this goes. I don't know how this is all going to work for me because I don't get in a faster speed. Get out of back gear this morning. Okay. All right, let's see how this is going to work for me. Drill this one a little higher up than the original too. So I want it to be on the flat. Hopefully I can thread this thing. Hopefully I can get enough threads in it. Going to be the catch. Drilling it's not going to be the problem. Getting the threads, enough threads in it. I may have to take the centerpiece out, which I might have to do. So I'm going to crank it. I'm just too lazy to get the drill this morning out. I may have to get the drill out this morning because always saying unintended consequences is always fun. So then we'll get this done first. Poop. I love my keyless chucks, but sometimes a couple more runs. There we go. All right. There we go. Oh. Right. Out and we'll set the tap in there and see if we can tap this thing. So we get the tap in it. I'm gonna leave it in this setup and I'm just gonna try to hand tap this thing. I've got a lot of effort. This is just an old 4-flute tap. That's gonna be the catch, how many threads I'm gonna get in it. And I don't think I've got another metric tap this size. This is 11 millimeter. I'm not so sure I got another 11 millimeter this size to do this with. I'm going to put it in back gear and I'm just going to hit it, start it just right quick, let it start. What I want to do is just start it, then I can put the, excuse me, just okay. Now the first thing I did is I worked on this and run into a lot of problems off camera. So basically what I ended up doing, because the metric taps that I have are not really good. The standard set. I've got a few good ones. So this ends up being something like a 12 millimeter, and this is pretty tough material. So, make long story short, I ended up having to do a little, just basically make it 7/16, where I had some good quality tabs. So now what I'm doing is more or less, I'm going to make a plug to fill this hole up. I need to check this because I moved some stuff. This has got to be 9/16. And what I'm going to do is make a little aluminum plug to plug that hole up. 641. I'm just checking it. What I'm doing is making it to standard 494. So I'm basically a ½ inch. So I can still go another 50 here. We're actually just going to take a die and do this too. Okay, 5/18. And I'm going to the exact top size of this, 494. So if I'm at 5/18, so I'm basically need about 20 thousandths. About 22. Then we're going to get the right metric tap. Alright, I'm 50. Am I not much bigger? 501, about 3 thousandths. I'm going to go down here and touch this, and I'm going to get this, my experience. I'm going to put this in with a little bit of red Loctite, so I'm not really very. I want this to fit the die that I'm going to do. I'm going to fit a bit small. I'm not going to Loctite it hard. I may Loctite it hard if it keeps giving me trouble. There we go. It's just a little smaller, which is good. That way the die will run. Let me chamfer this, and I'll go bring you back. I'll hunt the die up, and I'm going to make this piece first. Like I say, these unintended consequences, and I've been fighting with one of our problems, so this ain't something that I'm really worried that much about. I may turn this and make me a little plug, so I'm going to leave some on it. Alright, let me bring you back and get it back. Okay, you're going to get to see me use my tap, my die holder the first time on camera. I used it just a minute ago, so if it'll start, I may have to. One of these always a problem with dies, sometimes getting them to start. And is it starting? Yeah, I see a start. I may have to take a little more off that OD. That's what it looks like I gotta do. Hold on a minute, let me redo some math. Good morning, this is Jim. Welcome to my shop. Have you ever heard of the word unintended consequences? Well, that's what we have today, unintended consequences. The project that I did I've been doing for several days, is more or less make these blocks. Well, one of the problems I've had with my lathe with both tool blocks, and it's not as bad with the wedge, is the fact when I go to load boring bars, I can't get the handles that perfectly out of the way. It's about a quarter turn from where I wish it was at. So I've decided to fix the darn problem. This is easy enough to fix, and why not just fix it? Now, I'd rather have the wedge, so buying the tool block, I could have done this to the other one and solved a lot of its trouble, but I really would rather had a wedge to begin with. So what I've done this morning is more or less lined up this somewhere close to where I wanted it, and I'm going to get the stuff together. We're going to drill this thing out and tap this thing to put a new hole in it to move the screw to. And that way, once I get done, I can put this on there and I don't have to take the handle off, put my boring. I mean, it's not only boring bar blocks, anything that went long ways. Now, I admit my boring bar blocks are longer, so that exasperates it just a little bit. But they do fit. They would fit on the front perfectly fine. So the problem is the handle gets in the way. So we're just going to move the handle over, which I've already checked. This will work both ways. So I've already more or less checked it out. I know you can move the screws around, but you really can only move about a half a turn, and I only need about a quarter. So this is what we're going to do to fix it. Alright, I'm still struggling with this, but we're going to try something. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Well, we know what we need now. According to my calculations and everything I've seen, boy, this is not like this. This die is not going to work for us. So we really have to crank down on it, but we're going to get it. And what's happening is the part's actually spinning in the chuck itself. For some reason, it's just not biting. I put a relief in the back. That's the other reason. Alright. Yep, that looks like what we want. Well, this is the finish. That plugs the hole up. Took a little bit of time. It's actually a little tougher than I thought. Main reason is trying to get the exact right size. I just red Loctited all this, so it'll be fine. And that gives me what I need. I've moved everything around, got the hole plugged. So that's what unintended consequences run into when you do stuff. And I've been needing to do this because obviously you see this is still tightening up good. So I'm still probably, like I say, I've probably got a little bit of adjustment work to do here. So, but like you say, everything still works like it's supposed to. So I'm pleased that fixed that little problem. And see, you really don't have that much adjustment in these things, but you do have some. But what I just did is the easiest way I know to get that. I could have done, actually the truth of the matter is, I could have done the piston one this way. And it would have been just fine. And I wouldn't even had to buy a block. My deal was I didn't really like the piston one to begin with, and I'd rather have a wedge. And even though these are inexpensive, so sometimes it's what you get into when you're buying this imported stuff. But you know, it gives us something to do, so it keeps us out of trouble. So that's the deal here with that. Pretty simple. It actually looked like a simple project. It ended up running into a lot of stuff because of the hardness of this. And the fact that the taps that I had just wouldn't cut it. So I get cleaned up and I'm going to start studying what else I'm going to do. Alright, no job I've done this morning. Again, unintended consequences. My SRD needed a good way to dress the wheel. I bought 2 of these dressers. It's got the handles on it from Kits a while back. And so the problem is I used it to dress the wheels. So now I bought 2 because I needed to get up an order, a specific order. I'm glad I did. So what I've done, and I'll show you in just a second, hold on, as I walk back away, is the original. This was never been taken out of the package. Had a plastic handle like this. So what I needed is it would work, but I'd have to crank my table way in on the SRD. So since I had 2 of these, I decided to take and put it in the lathe and just turn the handle off. And I was surprised that the steel went all the way up inside of this knife. So now I'm going to keep this one mainly on the SRD and use it just to dress my wheel on my drill sharpener.